Hello, everyone. This is Miss Renee, uh, and I wanted to really talk about a topic that is so important in my, um, just in my heart. It's important, and I want to make sure that everyone understand that why I want to talk about this. Okay, I want to talk about this for one particular reason only, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I want you to be able to continue to understand what is the mission with running a business, right? So the topic is dreaming in your notary business, right? We start this because we see the opportunity. We start this because we see the possibility, right? And I know that in everything that you want in this business will give, right? Everything that you want in this business will give. But let me give you some tips that going to help you cut the learning curves and see it from other people's eyes. See it from my eyes. See it from Magic Johnson eyes. See it from people that had some roadblocks that had failed, that they wanted to jump and they was incapable of jumping, right? They started a plan, they wrote a plan, but guess what? Something got in the way. And then they were limited and they couldn't go in that direction. So let's talk about driving, right? Driving a vehicle, right? So when you're driving a vehicle, guess what happens? Um, I don't know about y'all, but I use Google Maps. I have an iPhone. Use Google Maps and I use the uh, navigation in an iPhone also, right? And depending on, I don't know, what app I press, that's where I go. But typically it gives me two or three different directions, right? It says, do you want to take this direction? Do you want to take that direction? Or do you want to go off road, right? No tolls, right? No freeways, no highways. And it gives me like three different pathways. I want to say in your notary career, and I'm very important. It's very important what I say. Notary career, notary business owner, right? And what I'm saying about that is that you have three pathways that you can take as being a notary, right? We're going to talk about a couple pathways, but let me share with you um, Magic Johnson pathway. So to me only, Miss Renee, Magic Johnson pathway was great. He was going to be the basketball star. He was killing it in high school. He was drafted. He was doing the best thing. And then what happened to Magic Johnson? He had a roadblock. Everything that he set his life up to be, he was no longer able to do it because he was just diagnosed with HIV. Nobody saw that coming. Everybody didn't even believe it. But why am I talking about this? Why are you bringing another basketball player, another athlete, another this to the table? Because people sometimes forget. We we held these people up to a higher standard, but we forget about sometimes their their roadblocks to where they got. So I like to peel that back like an onion, right? And show you how they started, right? So how he particular started was that what did he do? To me, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT when it comes to business entrepreneurship. Okay, why do you say that, Miss Renee? I say that because he took a roadblock that only had one way out and one way in to the next level to create another empire of success. He had no choice. Some people get into this industry because they They dream. Remember, this topic is about dreaming in your notary business. They dream about an opportunity will come. They dream about how successful. They dream about how this is going to provide financial freedom. They dream about how this is going to be the next level. This is what they've been asking for. I'm going to be able to buy a house. I'm going to be able to be a real estate agent. I'm going to be able to be a loan officer. I'm going to be able to scale. You see the dreams. The dreams are big. They are. If I were to tell you what now, like being a notary brought so many income streams and made me tap into an area that I never would have thought that I would be in, right? So I'm telling you, baby, I'm dreaming, okay? And I'm still no dream. So one of the powerful quotes that Magic Johnson says is, if you don't dream it, you can't become it. So if you're not dreaming of just all type of things that you want to be done in your notary industry, in your notary career, the relationship that you're going to build, you can't take it to the next level, right? So let me tell you about taking it to the next level. All right. I'm going to share with you what Magic Johnson was able to do. Okay. He was able to do this. He had a roadblock and he took that roadblock, which was what his plan, he wrote his manuscript like King Richard, right? Those of you, my favorite movie of all time right now is the nominating um, movie of King Richard of Richard Williams, Sabrina and Venice father. But I look at him from a sales agent and also a businessman than how I look at the actual film itself. Okay. And if you haven't watched it, listen to it while you're driving, watch it while you're parked. Like, if you haven't watched the movie King Richard yet, I think that everyone should watch it. Okay. So let's move forward. So, what was the roadblock of Magic Johnson? That he contract AIDS. I mean, not AIDS. He contract HIV, right? And that when he contracted HIV, he got diagnosed. That was like the biggest change in his life because doctors were saying that he's not able to play, and the public, and all this other thing. So he was forced to pivot, just like a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs in COVID, they had to learn how to pivot. And in notary, in order to dream, you got to learn how to pivot. In order to dream, you got to learn how to pivot. In order to dream, you have to learn how to maneuver. In order to dream, you got to make a plan, right? Without a plan, you can't dream, right? So this is so important. So continue to dream, right? To become it. All right. So let me play this clip real quick. It's about 2 minutes. And it's going to tell you a little bit about, if you guys never heard this clip, it's Oprah interviewing Michael Johnson. It's about like 60 seconds. I'm going to have you listen to the audio and then dive deep into my next step.
Go to that fateful day. Had you been sick? Had you been suspicious? Maybe you were carrying the virus, or how did it come? Just a regular checkup?
Just a regular checkup. I didn't know. I wasn't sick. I was just sitting at the hotel in Utah and getting ready for an exhibition game against the Jazz. And Dr. Melvin called and said, "Hey, you got to come back home." I said, "Okay, well, won't I play the game? And we're coming back tomorrow." I said, "No, you got to come back." I said, "Okay, what's going on?" And they wouldn't tell me. So I flew back to LA. So, I walk in the office and he started talking about the test. Insurance company, you got to take physicals. And what came out of the physical was you have HIV.
You were on the floor yourself, I heard, for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The doctor tells you, and you just laid on the floor.
Yeah, it was, you're just in disbelief and in shock.
Yeah.
And I think that, you're sitting there like, man, how could this happen to me?
And what does this mean?
And what does this mean? And of course.
Right.
But I was just devastated because I thought I had did everything right. And then the worst thing was Cookie was pregnant with EJ. And
you had just been married 2 months earlier.
Yeah, just been married. And all that came crumbling down. And the worst thing about it is I knew I was going to hurt her because she had waited for me, been patient with me, supported me.
And now I'm about to break her heart. So that ride home was probably the worst thing that you can do is to ride home and try to figure out how I'm going to break this news to her. This devastating news. And so as soon as I got to the door,
This door.
yeah, she knew something was wrong. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I sat her into the room next to this room. And I just sat her down and began to tell her that I had HIV. And that just broke her heart. She began to cry, not knowing what that meant for her and the baby at that time. And then, as she's crying, and I often tell people when you make a mistake, and you not only hurt yourself, but you hurt the ones that love you, and that hurt me. That hurt me. I just committed to it. I just said, "Oh man, we're going to do this." And then, I said, "Hey, I can understand if you want to leave me, because, I'm now turning your life upside down." And she smacked me upside my head and said, "We're going to beat this together. Let's get on our knees and pray." And that's what we did. And I got the great news later. God blessed us when the test results came back on her and the baby that she didn't have HIV and the baby didn't either. And so I don't know what would have happened if I got that news that she would have HIV as well. That would have been just devastating to me.
So, with that being said, the fact of the matter is that he just went through something, right? That changed the dynamic of his life, right? So he had to learn how to pivot. He had to learn how to maneuver. And he continued to dream. He said, "I was going to be a successful athlete, but I'm going to be a successful business owner too." He said, "I'm going to be a successful athlete, but I am also going to be a successful entrepreneur." And let me tell you a little bit what he did right now. He owns Starbucks. He owns theaters. He owns Lakers and Dodgers. He owns ebook. He a motivational speaker, right? He is nothing but amazing. Let me tell you what I just said. He has a real estate portfolio. He owns Starbucks. He owns theaters. He owns TGI Fridays. He's an author, and he's a motivational speaker. And who knows all of the other things that he did when he pivoted. He continued to dream. He didn't stop. He didn't let this stop him. Why am I bringing him up today? Because 30 years now, he still is clearly undetected with his HIV diagnosis. He is in his 30 years of being HIV undetected, diagnosed. And it's his anniversary. 30 years from when his life changed. 30 years that he was able to change the dynamic of his family life, and he still dreamed. He still said, "I'm going to be a visionary." He still said, "I'm not going to let this stop me." Remember what I said. If you don't dream it, you can't become it. He didn't let one thing stop him. He continued to say, "It's going to happen." Remember those 3 different paths on the navigation. It may take 30 years to achieve it. You may have to pivot. You may have to maneuver, but don't let that stop you from your dream. And notary can be your dream. Notary can help you get anything that you want. So I say that when you have difficult times and you want to give up, think of what he did. Think really what he did. How did he change his scenario, what he was given? Let me play one more minute of something that he had an interview of his inspirational words about him dreaming. All right.
Believer in if you don't dream it, you can't become it. I mean, look where you're sitting. You've done a wonderful job, and you remained a good man to with all the success that you've had and your family has had. And just like myself, you had the dream that you could be something in life and do something in life. And so I was a big dreamer, and so my job was to clean these 7 floors between Friday and Sunday. So every time I would go to the 7th floor was the CEO's office. So I would bust in like I was the CEO. I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO now. And then I would kick my feet up on his desk, recline the seat back, and I pretended like I had an assistant out front, and I would hit the intercom button. Tony, could you bring me today's paper, some coffee and donuts? And so I pretend she would come into the office, and one time I'm sitting there dreaming, and he walks in on me, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, well, I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO." And who would have ever thought? I've been blessed. And here I am. I am the CEO of my own company. And what a blessing. And so, but I think back to those moments, and those moments helped me to get to where I am today.
So, for those of you who have been with me from the beginning of this,
if you tie the knot, lose your health coverage when you get let go.
So, for those of you that have been with me this whole entire life, of just the audio presentation of it, is that Magic Johnson overcame a lot. He dreamed. He even was in his coach office dreaming that he was going to be the coach one day when he wasn't supposed to. He acted like in the office, putting his feet up, like one day this will be my office. And one day that can be. So I say all of that to say, um, it's it's something that I hope that you understand, that you can dream as much as you want, but you have to do the work. The work that Magic Johnson did was a lot. And sometimes you have to understand that it may not go the way that you want it to go, right? It may not be exactly the way that you want it to be, right? But you have to go through the you got to go through the things that it force you to go through to be that person. So, with that being said, let me give you some tips of how to dream and make sure that you're in line with your future. So, if you're in line with your future, you'll be able to do these things. Write your dream down. That's the first thing that a lot of people don't do. They don't write it down. And I can be the number one to say, I have not written that down. Okay? Before. But I do it now. I write everything. Even my consultation, I write. I just be writing my butt off, right? Secondly, what I would say is make sure that is realistically for your micro goals and your macro goals. We don't talk about that. Micro and macro, okay? It's it's very important for you to understand that. So a micro goal is a big goal, it's a long-term goal. A macro goal is a goal that is what you can reach now in the short time amount. So once you have that, then you can think, you know how these habits are going to help. Create great habits. Create a routine, okay? Be very strict. I like sports, and I like bringing up sport athletes to tell you where they went, how they achieve it, and what did they do after they reached their success. Why do people not give up? I was just in a coaching session with my coach this morning. And what he told me was some of the things is what I like is I never heard it before. And I was like, this is really good. I asked him. He said, I wrote it down right here. He said, the more you know, the more options you have, right? And then another powerful quote that he said for himself, and I really like, he says, how far can I go should be the question. Your dream should be, how far can it go? People always ask me, what is next? They say, what is next, Miss Renee? I said, well, to be honest, I don't know. I'm still dreaming, right? I'm still dreaming. So as long as the tree can grow, I'm going to continue to dream. As long as it doesn't compromise the things that are important to me, I'm going to continue to dream. So I encourage everyone that's listening, continue to dream. Okay? Continue to go. And in order for you to dream, in order for you to be successful, in order for you to create great models that are sustainable, or for you to, this is what he said, I am as smart as my mastermind. So you gotta join a mastermind. You have to join something where it's going to level you up. And in a mastermind, what you're going to get out of it is with high performing people, you're going to take something, you're going to pick up the things that they have. You're going to follow them around, see things that you never seen. You're going to be exposed to things that you never saw before. And you're going to be with picking up the things that they put down. That's what a mastermind is. Okay? And I encourage you, if you're interested in joining something like that, join the Sustainable Notary Conference, where we're going to be there being around people that you may not have access to, being around like-minded people that think, like literally leveling you up, right? Not just keeping you stagnated, right? Continuing to dream. So with all of that being said, I encourage you to use the discount code to get 15% off, which is Black 15. And it's specifically Black 15 because we're coming out of Black History Month. And I still have my code available. But I also highly recommend for you guys to do is, if you're interested, I can't tell you that it's a sustainable model without letting you know that, hey, what do I have to offer to everyone to be sustainable, to generate income, to be able to have cash flow? Well, I'm doing something that I haven't done before. And what I am doing is I have given people the opportunity to bring additional income streams. If you're interested, you will be able to join our exclusive affiliate program where you can apply to get a compensation of 35% off, not 35% payout, to help you. So if you're going to a conference and you know somebody else going to a conference, say, girl, hey, use my affiliate link, and hey, it's going to help you. Use the code 15%. Because now, being in a mastermind, you think differently. You're exposed to different things. You are with high performing people. So let's come and master together at the Notary Conference. If you want to know more a little bit about the conference, feel free to text me. I'll put my text number up there. Text me, because at the end of the day, you never know what can be helpful for you. And I currently have mastermind notary groups that I master with the best of the best. We all learn. Text this number 213-318-3033 if you want to learn what is the concept of mastering to get you to that next level. A successful business, a successful model, just dreaming with people that dreams, that are high level functioning. All right, until next time.